Hello and welcome to the red carpet on the Voice of America. I'm Jackson Mvunganyi. On today's red carpet, we chat with Ethiopian visual artist Heruy Aregawi Gebremariam. His art is a visual diary of the various places he has lived for the past 5 years since leaving his home country. Afrobeats star Rema makes history. His song Calm Down has reached 1 billion on-demand streams. And we visit Johannesburg's Chinatown. We have those stories, plus the Global Citizen Festival has announced headliners for their September concert in New York City's Central Park. Let's get on with the show.
Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body.
1 billion on-demand streams. That's how many Nigerian singer Rema reached this month, making history with his hit song Calm Down, featuring a remix by Selena Gomez. This makes Rema the first African artist to achieve this milestone, marking a significant accomplishment for Afrobeats music. Music producer Pharrell Williams curated the Louis Vuitton Spring-Summer 2025 show at the Paris Fashion Week. The show was attended by a number of African artists, including Wizkid, Burna Boy, and many others. The show took place in the courtyard of the UNESCO headquarters, with flags of dozens of countries serving as part of the backdrop for the runway. The Global Citizen Festival is returning to New York City's Central Park on September 28, 2024. The festival recently announced the headliners including Doja Cat, Post Malone, Raul Alejandro, and many others. Global Citizen Ambassador Hugh Jackman will host the event, which will also feature appearances by Dr. Jane Goodall, founder of the Goodall Institute and UN Messenger of Peace, and Global Citizen Festival curator Chris Martin of Coldplay. The campaign will support non-profit organizations across the 5 boroughs of New York. Ethiopian visual artist and storyteller Heruy Aregawi Gebremariam has lived in many places since leaving his country to escape a civil war. He's currently curating an exhibit titled Navigating the Now at Ethiopia in Washington, D.C., featuring his own pieces alongside those of artists Aklilu Temesgen and Dereje Demesi. Heruy's work not only serves as a visual diary of his travels to places like Lamu in Kenya, but also an invitation for viewers to contemplate the evolving nature of cultural identity in a globalized world. Let's check it out. Heruy's art is a diary of his travels and experiences. His journey from Ethiopia to various places in the world has been documented on his canvases. One such place that has left a significant mark on him is Lamu in Kenya. The island's unique blend of cultures and architecture have inspired some of his art.
So this series, like part of, especially the 4 works here, are inspired by my stay in Lamu. One of the striking things about the Lamu is beyond the fact that it's a cultural melting pot, it's rich history, good food. They have a unique building technique, which involves mixing corals with lime. Most of the houses in Lamu are white or broken white, and you can have multi-story buildings like narrow alleys, and like these beautiful bougainville flowers, and these old buildings, plus the very refined carpentry, which like you find everywhere, like in the rich people's houses, the poor people's houses. There is always a patterned carved doors.
For Heruy, every new place becomes a chapter in his ongoing story of home. His paintings invite viewers to contemplate what home means, not just as a physical space, but as a feeling, a memory, a connection.
I've been here it's been only 5 months since I made my move to the US. But between the place that I call home in northern Ethiopia, in Tigray, and moving to the US, I've stayed in for more than a year in Kenya. So yeah, the question have been lingering.
What is home to you?
It should be somewhere between, like, it should be an overlap of like feeling safe and as well as feeling like belonging there, right? The idea of home is not just about the safety, it's about knowing you're surrounded by people who share same values, same language, like where you don't have to be conscious all the time, like a place where you run on autopilot, but you're accepted, like you don't have to make plans every single morning in order to be a human, an accepted human.
Whether it's in Zanzibar,
Yeah.
whether in Lamu,
Yes.
why did you choose to paint the door?
Probably I was blown away by the beauty of it first, but that's one of the things I noticed, how the doors are different in back home in East Africa, the places that I have lived in Ethiopia, in Kenya, in Uganda, especially in the small towns or even in the bigger towns, doors are usually open, and like the default state of doors is open, so someone needs to put an effort to close them.
His journey began in Mekelle, the city of his birth, which he was forced to leave due to a civil conflict. But his memories and love for his homeland remain alive through his art.
These pieces are titled Makaloan and Makala 2. They are depictions of my hometown, Makala, where most of my family lives. And I made these paintings in 2022 while the war, the Tigray war was still active, and there was no communication with people living in the region, my friends and my family. So this is practically me trying to lift myself up and to live a love letter to my hometown.
South Africa has seen several waves of immigration from China, with early generations of migrants fleeing extreme poverty at home and newer arrivals seeking business opportunities. Kate Bartlett has the story about Chinese South Africans who have established businesses in Johannesburg's old and new Chinatowns.
From duck to dim sum, the kitchen inside Shonde restaurant in Johannesburg gives Chinese immigrants a little taste of home. Hong Kong native and restaurant owner Kun Chan immigrated to South Africa almost 40 years ago.
It was easy to make money in South Africa back then.
Chan used to have a restaurant in the old original Chinatown. He closed that business because people got scared going to the old Chinatown due to crime. Chinese migrants have been living in Johannesburg before the old Chinatown was even built. The first Chinese arrived in the 17th century as convicts or slaves from what is now Indonesia with the Dutch East India Company. Then, during the early 1800s, Chinese indentured laborers were brought to work on the railways. The original Chinatown on Commissioner Street was established in the 1880s when free Chinese from the impoverished south of China came to the frontier mining town as part of the gold rush. Then, in 1948, South Africa established the apartheid system. Chinese living in the country were classified as colored. Like black South Africans at the time, they were restricted to living in certain areas, but much has changed. Apartheid ended and a democratic government was formed in 1994. How ethnic Chinese immigrants from different backgrounds see each other also changed, says Arthur Ma.
Before, say 20 years ago, you could feel it because we don't even really speak to each other, the new and the old one. We just stick to our own selves, the local Chinese and the overseas Chinese. Now, we help one another.
Ma is a first-generation Chinese South African. His father fled poverty in southern China and arrived by boat in 1942. As life improved here, he sent money back home.
Then we actually helped build a hospital, give a little bit donation in our own village.
Now, Johannesburg's ethnic Chinese community includes people from Taiwan and Hong Kong. And as China opens up and prospers, there are new immigrants from mainland China.
Anything we need help, we always ask the new one, because they're the ones with the money, you see, because China's going good. But we pave the road for them in this country.
Now there is a new, safer Chinatown where more Chinese gather in the suburb of Cyrildene. South African-born doctor Alice Yulin Phan's parents moved from Taiwan in the 1980s.
My dad and my aunt opened up factories in Bloemfontein, and then afterwards they opened up restaurants. So quite.
Yulin Phan and Chan's children and grandchildren can now live where they choose to live in the city. Many have professional jobs, but still come to the new Chinatown where Chan has relocated his restaurant. Eating, celebrating festivals, events that bring ethnic Chinese from different backgrounds together to keep traditions alive. Kate Bartlett, VOA News, Johannesburg.
In Namibia, German charity Skate Aid has built a skate park on the National Institute for Special Education campus. Here, young learners with disabilities can practice a sport that encourages empowerment, socializing, and having fun. Vitalio Angula reports from Windhoek in Namibia.
Backsides, front sides, and kick turns are just some of the tricks 19-year-old Zeka Shikumba has learned over the years. Shikumba, who is partially blind, began skateboarding in 2019, along with other children with disabilities at Namibia's National Institute for Special Education.
I was not born like this. I had cancer before. Cancer is the one that caused my vision. I actually had eye cancer before, and that was in 2010 when it started, when the cancer started.
Shikumba says he relies on light, sound, and shadows to detect the different obstacles in the skate park. He is aware of the risk of falling and hurting himself, but he says this does not deter him. Tangeni Hamukoshi is a coach with Skate Aid, the German charity that built the skate park. He gives lessons and also provides safety gear to the kids at the school.
Skateboarding has a fundamental lesson which teaches everybody, which is you fall, you get back up, and you never give up in whatever it is that you are pursuing.
About 400 learners with various physical and cognitive challenges attend the Namibia Institute for Special Education. Emily Shadei, a life skills teacher, is in charge of sports at the Institute School of the Visually Impaired, which offers not only skateboarding, but other sports like soccer and netball.
There are a lot of learners that are really interested and they are doing well. So that just proves that it doesn't mean that when you are blind, you cannot do anything.
Shikumba dreams of becoming a champion skater someday, and both his coach and life skills teacher believe that with more practice and more opportunities, he and other kids at the school will be able to compete at international games for learners with disabilities. Vitalio Angula, VOA News, Windhoek, Namibia.
Thank you for watching VOA's Red Carpet. I'm Jackson Mvunganyi. For more entertainment news, remember to check us out at voaafrica.com. We are also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Until next time, goodbye everyone.